Well, we've just completed our first full week here on the homestead with Mrs. Rover as a full-time resident. Now, we still have commitments in town, so we're taken away from the homestead a few days a week, but we still got a lot done. So let me just recount what happened this week. In the last episode, I had to make a decision between the John Deere or the Husqvarna lawn tractor. So I decided to go with the Husqvarna, and my friend Brian has given me a hand by transporting it in his little trailer. Unfortunately, the trailer isn't quite wide enough and we can just barely fit it on. By using a little bit of muscle power instead of ramps, we're able to unload the tractor without doing any damage to the mowing deck. So I had put the word out a little while ago that I was interested in getting some more local trees, maple in particular, you know, in the hope that one day when I'm about 90, I'll be able to tap them and get some maple syrup. Anyway, my thoughts were rewarded last night because a friend had dropped off some maple trees. Now, I was looking for little saplings, maybe about a foot or two tall, but these are a pretty good size. I mean, these are probably 6 or 7 feet. Anyway, we're going to plant them and do our best, and hopefully they'll take. We'll know pretty soon because they're just about ready to bud out. Speaking of budding out, we also have our fruit trees here, and since these come from another province in a warmer zone, they are in fact budding out. As we can see, the leaves are coming out on this John of Gold apple tree. So those have to go in the ground, although it's not quite as critical because they are in pots, but we will get them in the ground very shortly. There's just been so much happening. So we're planting these wonderful maple trees. Now these are from the wild, so we have to get them into the ground right away. Now they're not perfect specimens, but they are perfect in a sense. They're trees, you know, they grew in the wild. They're not perfectly straight, but that just adds character. Anyway, the trick is to get them into the ground. Don't add any fertilizer, I've been told, and make sure all the roots are well placed below ground. I mean, there's a lot of little roots here, and we're just going to get the soil gently placed around them. Try to make them feel undisturbed. Don't be afraid to use your hands. In fact, it's nothing quite as nice as feeling soil between your fingers. And you probably can't see it in the camera, but there are plenty of earthworms, which is great considering it's only the second day of May. And we'll try to get them all the way down so there's good support underneath the tree. After I get all the trees in, and I have just about 10 of them, I'll have to water them in. Even though the soil is nice and wet, get some water into them, let the roots just start sucking that up. And we do have rain in the forecast in the next couple of days, which is perfect. Well, there we go. The first tree is planted, 9 more to go. So it's been a really great day. I've had an opportunity to put 10 maples in. I just love planting trees. And on top of that, I planted another 4 spruce. Now that's it for the tree planting. I think it's 57 trees in total, which adds up to 1 for every lap that I've made around the sun. So Now I'm waiting for the Gutter Guys. Now the Gutter Guys is the name of a company, and they put up, well, you probably guessed it, gutters or eaves trough on the building. So we've had a fair bit of rain and runoff from the winter and last fall, and it's washing out part of our shale system, and the shale is what's keeping the whole foundation up and high. We're not in any danger, of course, but it's good to get eaves troughs on, and once I get those on, I'll have them pointed off the back end, and when I do that, I'll get up some rain barrels. I'll plumb them up underneath, and we'll have water then for some of our gardening needs.
That's one continuous hanger now.
Right.
You know, the whole thing has a hanger on it. Versus that.
Yep.
That'd be there. That would be there. That would be there.
So this is going to be considerably stronger.
So snow hits here versus that. Should last a lot longer.
Absolutely. All that's left is to set up some rain barrels. In the last episode, I explained how new government regulations forcing us to use expensive off-island stamped lumber in addition to expensive new permitting has meant that we can no longer build our proposed 24 by 40 foot pole barn. So in an effort to make some lemonade from these lemons, we are going to build two smaller 12-foot by 18-foot structures that don't require permits. The buildings will be built close together, and one will house the snowblower, lawn tractor, and my future boat. The other will house the animal feed, the hens' winter accommodation, and a pen for new calves in winter. Unwittingly, the government has saved me money with these new regulations. I have reevaluated and taken a closer look at what my basic needs really are. Experience has taught me that when one builds a bigger building, inevitably one fills it with more stuff. This all amounts to greater expense, and frankly, we could all do with a little less. Gone. Well, this is how the mornings usually start at Rover's Rest. A quick little cup of coffee with Mrs. Rover. But in the next episode, we'll be all about planting the orchard and setting up the rain barrels. So until next time, thanks for watching.